Hey, one and all, that was The Killing Joke, and they are named after the graphic novel. And the song's called Love Like Blood. It's like 6 minutes long, and it's pretty cool. And it was one of those songs I heard only on college radio late at night when the Pittsburgh's one college station, I could pick it up where I was, east, only when the sun went down. So, and I was doing stuff at the Art Institute. I was doing projects, so I usually stayed up late and did them then, because it gets kind of boring and lonely. So these pocketbooks rule. There's a couple more that I want, but I kind of put a hold on it because it's easy to get caught up in buying stuff on eBay, and it adds up. And you're like, shit, I didn't realize it. Even if though they were cheap, or even if they're like $10 or $20, that does add up. One of the earliest books I saw, and this is in magnificent shape. I mean, a little bit of, wear here, but how about that? I think I got that for $20 on eBay. I love the colors, the new colors. They went a little darker, and that's from the Spider-Man Annual #1. And look how tiny this is. Like that's my thumb. Now I'm trying to read. Look at your thumb while I'm doing this, and that's how big that word balloon is. And I have to read it. And I remember devouring this. And my grandmother on my dad's side, Mum, she said, "You're going to hurt your eyes one day." I was like, "Oh, pshaw." So, well, she was right. This is the Hulk #2, I think. Yeah, I have to get the first one. I don't know if I've ever seen it, but this is when Kirby switched out from having... It's after Ditko went to Tales to Astonish with the Hulk, and then Kirby came back briefly, and then Kirby did a bunch of layouts for a bunch of different people, like Bill Everett and Mike Esposito, also known as Mickey DeMeo. I love that name. Sounds very gangster. Hey, don't mess with Mickey DeMeo. He's with the Geraci family. Beautiful stuff. And there's Gil Kane, who just really drew a really weird Hulk, but I like it now. At the time, his style just didn't really match. What I thought it should. He just made him evil looking. And then Marie Severin took over with Frank Giacoya. Good stuff. Okay, and going to the novels here, and Call My Killer Murdoch. Okay, it was how much? $1.95. That's all. Jeez. For me, that was a lot of money because comics were like maybe 30 cents when this came out. And I didn't buy everything. Well, let me see. What happened here? Oh. A business card. So, good stuff. Only thing is, this William Rossler guy, I'm sure he's a good writer, but it's such a dry read. It needs a little something to kick it in. It was just there, This one's kind of beat up. They got for $5 at a show. I mean, there's like a friggin' hole in it. Holocaust for Hire. Joseph Silva. It's smart that they got outside writers, because with Marv Wolfman, Len Wein, and even, I'm trying to think of a few others, it just got real incestuous, the writing, and it started repeating itself over and over and over again, the same old phrases, like, I must be a masochist, or, just all these other phrases he would use. That was one that really drew. Oh, proverbial. It's like, that was a proverbial, I don't know, proverbial, when someone's in the nick of time, they would say, right in the proverbial nick. And I'd be like, oh, that sounds so stupid. But Len and Marv edited this, and has a great short Avengers story by Jim Shooter. It's actually the best story. And it got adapted into Avengers 201 and 202. Perez did the art, and the problem is, it should have been a 3 or 4-parter. And I'm not really one of those guys who's into, I don't know who Kyle Christopher is. I'm not one of those guys who's into decompressing, but it just seemed like very important since it was Ultron related. But I think because 202 was the last George Perez Marvel book until he went to DC, not to mention those last 2 issues, and the previous year, he had some shitty anchors on them. He had like Jack Abel. I love him, but not for Prez. It's like he flattened it with a steamroller. And then who else was there? Mike Esposito did the last one, and it really was just like tinny. Like, let's see, Chris Claremont, I think, does a story here. Oh, Mary Jo Duffy, she's great. Actually, I remember this, enjoying this. She did Power Man Iron Fist, which I really, really loved. And Len Wein, there we go. I don't have the Fantastic Four one, but it was funny. I was reading an interview with Marv Wolfman way back when, saying when he was doing the Fantastic Four novel, he said he had a struggle with it because the origin is so damn stupid if you just put it down in the words and you'll have images with it. And I could see that. I mean, it's totally reckless and insane. Who did the cover here? This is... Oh, come on, everybody. Zoom in, baby. Who is it? Let's see. Oh, Bob Larkin. Okay. He did really great covers. Oh, yeah, and by the way, this is Dave Cockrum. Love it. This is Dave Cockrum. And this is Bob Larkin. Boy, that's pretty. That should be a poster. And let me see. Oh, this came out in the 90s, and I liked it a lot. Joe Jusko, man. It's a pretty good story, too. I mean, it's thicker as well, so it has stories have room to breathe. But to my knowledge, they haven't done any adaptations of it. This came out in the late 60s, and by Ted White, not to be confused with the guy from Mary Tyler Moore or Caddyshack. But I am going to check it out sometime. There's an Avengers one that came out at the same time, and I love that cover. Did they give credits on the inside? 1968. I don't see anybody credited. So, and I mean, I surprised for you. This is really great. Cockrum cover. The only thing they did different with the line, with the lineup, is they added Quicksilver. He hadn't been back to the Avengers. Gosh, I don't know if he ever went back to the Avengers. He left a long time ago, and then he came back briefly during the Korvac saga, and he left in a hurry. Is there any other way for him to leave? Because he was disgusted that his own sister was marrying an android, or had married one, a synthezoid. But that's okay. There's the Beast way back there, and he had some comedy relief, and David Michelini wrote it, and it's probably my favorite one. I would say out of the whole novel. The Jim Shooters one is really cool, and 1995 was my very first trip to San Diego Comic-Con. I just broke into business. I just did like 2 issues of Justice League America, right before I got the axe, because that's how you usually break in. At least those days, is you start at the bottom. And then I went to The Ray with Jason Armstrong, Christopher Priest, and that book got the chopping block 6 months later, because they're not going to put you on Batman right away if you're still working out the kinks. So I actually brought this for some reason. I unearthed it, and I brought it, and I just read it on the plane right over, and it was fun, So I am in the DC booth, which is massive, so impressive. And I see... Who do I see? What do I see? I'm going to drag this out. Come on. David Michelini is there at the DC booth. He was one of the 4 writers on the Superman books. So I must have seemed like a total nut job. I mean, I had a badge on, but, I didn't have a name at all, in comics, really. And I see David Michelini with his, his pin, or his whatever they call it, and I said, "The man who stole tomorrow." and then before he could really react, I said, "I just wanted to tell you I love that book," because he probably would have been like heading for the hills. And I happened to have it, so the next day he was there and he signed it. Drew, best wishes to the 3rd, maybe 4th person to read this novel. Hurrah! David Michelini. That was too cool. Too cool. Now, I'm going to go into the newspaper strip of the Hulk, which, because the TV show was a huge success, a massive success. It was like, don't miss TV. So what they did is they did a strip alongside Stan Lee and Larry Lieber. But you're going to see, just like with Spider-Man eventually, there's a lot of ghost artists and writers. But this started off, and it was carried on in newspapers. I mean, everybody had a newspaper, a physical newspaper until like the late 90s and started trolling off. And this was one of them. And wait a second. I loved it. He was huge, ugly. Is that so? And he had green skin. Oh, man, come on. Meanwhile, around the corner, that is like the last panel on the first, the first day. And I was digging on it. I didn't know it was Larry Lieber right away because he was tapping into Kirby a little bit there. He could do that, too, on some of the covers he did with for the Atlas Comics group. And so what I did... I mean, he definitely got that from Hulk #1, but it's okay. What happened is the 4 panels would come out, like that. I clipped them, and what I did is I taped like 3 or 4 tiers of the dailies, and then turn it over and tape the next 4 dailies, and then I think I kept the Sundays together also, but. I just remember having like this, taped up booklet of pulp paper and a ton of tape. And it was fun. It was fun. And the only setback was it was too much like the TV show because it was street level. And I kept thinking, oh, where's the leader? Where's the abomination? What's going on? Well, here's what's funny. I'm pretty sure, because I've been an inker for forever, Frank Giacoia did the first couple days, and then out of the blue you get Ernie Chan. I was like, even I recognized it was something different at the time because he took the harshness out of Larry Lieber's folds, but in a good way. Although I did kind of miss the Kirby-esque style. So that's a beautiful face. Ernie Chan was always great at that. I hope he's still alive. I don't know. And then we go to what I believe is Frank Springer. He had kind of a fluffy style that I didn't really care for when it came to comic books because it was all superheroes. I mean, he was more suited to, just like Don Heck, to other genres. That's from like Hulk #1 there. And you can usually tell Springer's stuff by the hair. Get a little more in here. Yeah. And see the fluffiness on the Hulk's physique right there. Yeah, that's definitely him. And then later on, all of a sudden, Joe Sinnott shows up. How about that? Beautiful work. I mean, Joe Sinnott was a busy guy. He was doing every issue of Fantastic Four. In fact, there was something where Joe Sinnott, he actually got paid a little bit of a bonus or extra because his job was to maintain the look of the Fantastic Four no matter who was drawing it. So, you went through, Buckler, and you went through Perez, you went through Pollard, and then, even Ramona Fraden for one issue, Ross Andrew for one issue. So, he did that for years, and he was happy. It's like, why not? And he never blew a deadline. And I guess they just asked him to do a few of these. Because I don't really know how it fits. Yeah, that's definitely Senate there. Definitely. And then we go back to... No, not yet, not yet. That's great. That's just Senate there. It spoils you. Yeah. Beautiful Senate face. Let me get a little closer here, everybody. Wee. So I love these things when they came out. So and there was a second one from the world famous newspaper strip, which is actually not hyperbole. It was around for quite a while. I think this is Frank Giacoia, the way he does the muscles. He's got that real strong, powerful, contrast in his work. And I don't know what else. Let me see. I think we start with... Oh, nope. That's about it. Anyway, that was my little trek into, some memories. I hope you liked it. And that's about it. I love you for listening and watching me fiddle around with comics for forever and a day. I appreciate every like and subscription. And if you have any stories of your own when you discover these things, please leave them below in the comments section. I love hearing stories about how people find kind of lost treasure. This isn't stuff that's just sitting around. Please hit like and subscribe, and I'll catch y'all later. Oh, and the beginning song, I already told you what the beginning song was. Da. Okay, I gotta get back to work. Take care, everybody.